Now on the back, we have the quadruple camera setup on the OnePlus 8T. We have a 48 megapixel wide angle lens, 16 megapixel ultra wide sensor, 5 megapixel macro lens, and then a 2 megapixel depth lens. Where the OnePlus 7 Pro has a 48 megapixel wide angle lens, 8 megapixel telephoto lens, then a 16 megapixel ultra wide sensor. Now, the OnePlus 7 Pro's camera, in my opinion, has always been pretty good for the most part. It's definitely not been the best camera in the world. It's not even like the best of that year, but I'll say it's good enough for the most part. You have a telephoto lens and an ultra wide sensor, which is something the OnePlus 8T doesn't have. It doesn't have a telephoto lens. I would rather have a telephoto lens than like the macro and depth lens, in my opinion, but I still think this lens is pretty good. I mean, you can zoom in a lot, you can zoom out through the ultra wide sensor as well, and I think that's something that's very important. UI wise and the way they look, I mean, they're both going to be looking about the same. I mean, the same megapixel count. Technology may be better on the OnePlus 8T, but really when it comes down to it, I think you're going to be getting kind of around the same type of thing. And I think the lack of telephoto lens that the OnePlus 8T has really weirds me out. I don't know why they did that. They could have easily just added a telephoto lens in the specific phone and just kind of moved on with it. But they did the same thing with the OnePlus 8 as well. They have it on the OnePlus 8 Pro, but they don't have it on this device. So maybe they were trying to make more of a discrepancy. But the OnePlus 7T also had a telephoto lens, so I honestly don't know what they're thinking. You can do 4K at 60 on this phone as well, and you have that same 16 megapixel camera up front that the OnePlus 8T also has, which I don't know why they're still doing that. The OnePlus 8T, as expected, is probably going to be their better camera, like I've stated before. I mean, you're getting a better lens, I guess, and the photo actually does kind of look a little bit better from the OnePlus 8T. The software is going to be better on this device as well. You're probably going to get more features here and there, but you're still tapped out of 4K at 60. You don't have that telephoto lens like you have on the 7 Pro, and you on the same front camera, you have 16 megapixel front-facing camera that can only do 1080p at 30 frames per second, which is kind of annoying. I really wish that wasn't the case, but we really don't have a choice when it comes down to it. So probably when it comes down to the camera, the OnePlus 8T is probably better, but the 7 Pro is not that far behind in my opinion. And if you have a 7 Pro, I'd probably recommend keeping it because you have the telephoto lens on here. So in terms of the camera, that pretty much covers it up.